Today I'm making a staple pregnancy craving for Samantha, which is vegan pad thai. And we sort of came up with this recipe. It's a hodgepodge of a bunch of different things. And it's not really vegan because there's an egg in it, but there's no fish sauce and we use tofu instead of a animal protein. And we've been getting the tofu at Costco, and it's really great and cost efficient. So I'm gonna cube this, and we get the extra firm one now. We started getting just the firm, and then I'd make it and it would just fall apart and it wasn't great. So I figured extra firm is perfect. It stays together in the dish and it's a little bit heartier and feels more like a real protein. And I just saw that there's 10 grams of protein per serving, 5 servings per block. So this whole block is 50 grams of protein. We split this so we each get 25 grams of protein, which is pretty fantastic for a non-animal protein to be going in something. I like tofu. I've never been like the craziest about tofu. It can be kind of boring. In this dish, it's really good because it gets covered in the sauce, and the sauce is fantastic, which I'm gonna make next. Great. And make sure you squeeze the tofu and get all the liquids out so that it gets crispier when you cook it. Otherwise, it's kind of mushy. So for the sauce, oh my God, we use this vegan fish sauce, and I'm not even quite sure what it's made out of. It does have 70% less sodium than your average fish sauce, which is wonderful. It's made out of blackstrap molasses, oh my God, and apple cider vinegar, lime juice. So it's got a really nice tang to it. I actually might have some in the pantry here. I got more because I remembered we were running low. Also, I'm not loving the color of this one, so we might just start with the fresh bottle here. So all this stuff sits on the bottom, and I don't know how crazy I am about this. Is like all the stuff on the bottom, you know. So the sauce I put in here, and I'm gonna start with about 3 tablespoons of honey. And I know this is probably not a traditional pad thai, and there's gonna be somebody out there who's gonna yell at us for breaking the grand traditions, and to that I say, fuck off. Because whatever it is we can make and eat, we love, and we're inspired by the pad thai, and that's all I'll say, because whatever the result is really good. 3 tablespoons of this honey. Now I've seen a recipe that goes up to 5 tablespoons, and I just feel like that's too sweet. So I always bring it down to 3, otherwise it's just too much honey. And you know, it's ultimately supposed to be mostly savory. And then we do about 2.5 tablespoons of the vegan fish sauce. You can use real fish sauce if you want and don't care, but I like this. I like that it has less sodium, because one of my biggest complaints with Thai cooking, Asian cooking in general, just has a lot of sodium, and I don't know what it is, but it's not good for you, that much sodium. 2 tablespoons of rice wine, or it's not rice wine, just rice vinegar. 1, 2, we have enough, but just barely, so I'm gonna throw this away. And then I get out the liquid amino acids. This kind of replaces soy sauce. Usually you put soy sauce in this. This is just a much healthier alternative. And the liquid amino acids help sometimes, I think, form a full protein out of incomplete proteins. It has 1 gram of protein per teaspoon, so with a tablespoon, you're getting 3 extra grams of protein. What else do we put in here? I put a tablespoon of hot sauce, sriracha, just to give it a little extra heat. There's also going to be hot pepper in the pad thai, so if it's too much for you, leave out the hot pepper, but I recommend keeping the hot sauce in there because it's just so good. And then peanut butter, about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And I know I'm not doing the accurate 2 tablespoon measurement. That comes out to about a tablespoon when you do that. Okay, hot sauce, vinegar, honey, sriracha, rice wine vinegar, liquid amino acids, peanut butter. I think that's everything. And then one of my favorite tools in the kitchen is this immersion blender. And I just blend the sauce because shaking it is too much. Plus I use chunky peanut butter and the whole thing doesn't come together without this, in my opinion. You can shake it and stir it, but this is the best. Just make sure it's all on the bottom. Otherwise that honey will sit at the bottom and won't get blended. Voila. Nice peanut sauce, vegan peanut sauce. Put this away. Great. And about now, I start the water for the rice noodles. And I'll show you what brand of rice noodles we use. Right here. Now, we've done the brown rice noodles, and I like those too. Ultimately, though, for authenticity, we're using the white rice noodles. We just decided they taste a bit better. And also, I mean, brown rice is supposed to be healthier, but I think when you put them in noodle form, it's not really going to matter. Put this away. Now we have wonderful hot water because our water heater was replaced today after 3 times it went out in the last week. It was really obnoxious. So when you really realize that civilization is held together by having hot water, because you cannot clean yourself, you can't clean your dishes, you can't clean your clothes. You could clean your clothes on the cold cycle, I guess, but you need hot water in life. And it's just majorly frustrating if you don't have it. So I start heating the water ready for the noodles, and then I cook this in a cast iron skillet, which is another one of my favorite kitchen things. And it just gets so hot. And so now I'm going to chop up some of the vegetables. This can go away, this can go away. And you can kind of do whatever vegetables you like. I do bell pepper, red bell pepper, some green onion, ginger, garlic, which I have in here, and a hot pepper, which we use a hot Thai pepper. One of those, it's like a really tiny green pepper, and it's super fucking hot. It is not to be messed around with. And as a matter of fact, I removed the seeds and some of the capsaicin, and it's still damn hot. So be very careful with that one if you're sensitive to spice. I'm gonna wash off the pepper. This meal has been really good for Samantha's aversion to meat products and the difficult time we have had getting protein. This has been a good solution with the tofu, and then there's egg in the recipe too. And it gives you really good protein, and it feels like a full meal. It's not really that hard to make. There's some assembly. The sauce and chopping the vegetables is probably the most time-consuming or frustrating part, but that's about it. I cut these into little diced pieces, the red onion. Samantha was the person who turned me on to Thai food in general. Before meeting Samantha, I had never had Thai. And then we went to this place. What was that place we went to that we didn't like?
Where?
I think it was in like Koreatown.
Oh.
That was supposed to be the big place, and then
Jeetlada.
Jeetlada.
Sorry, I know it's a tourist thing for a lot of people.
We did not love it, and I was like, this is the Thai food I'm supposed to love? And she was like, no, don't base it off of this, because this was not a good experience. And maybe we just ordered the wrong things.
I think we ordered the wrong thing.
Yeah. But I felt like we got pad Thai, and I remember it was like sweet. It wasn't good. And then we went to this other place in the valley that I can't remember the name of it. And that was really good. And then we started going to this restaurant that's now a huge hit restaurant in the valley called Anajak Thai. And at the time, it was owned by this older woman who'd owned it for like 30 years. And it was like one of the first restaurants in the area. And she now sold it or gave it to her son. And he's like a super new age chef who adapted her recipes apparently into like this trendy restaurant. And it's like the hardest reservation to get in town. And we are like, wow, like this place that we used to go to, it used to be empty almost, and was pretty traditional Thai food. We would get like pad see ew and cashew chicken. Their cashew chicken was amazing. But now it's like the hip place to be. Like Barack Obama just ate there, and all these crazy people go and eat Anajak Thai. And then we went to another really nice one that's also hip and trendy when we moved over here to West LA is Night Market Song. And they do really great stuff. Kind of new age also. They put spins on traditional Thai food. The most amazing thing we had last time we were there was they did like a variation of a Taco Bell crunch wrap, but with grapao chicken inside, and that thing was amazing. So obviously not very traditional with the Taco Bell inspirations, but really, really good. Sometimes can be high in salt and also very, very spicy, which I don't mind the spice, but the salt and sort of the like greasiness can be a little much. And then there was a place here called Hoff Thai that's now closed, and this was like barely even a restaurant. You would go inside and there was like a few tables, no decorations. You barely knew anything was going on in there, but they made incredible pad thai. That was their thing. And it was just super traditional. Yeah, so obviously my eyes have been open to Thai food. There's a place up the street from us called Natalie Thai that we get if we just want like a local Thai place. And they're good, they're very good. They're just kind of safe. And I like to put sometimes up to 3 cloves of garlic in this, just because I like the garlic. And it always boosts the flavor. It's also great for your immune system. I was never really like raised eating adventurously, and Samantha has a lot more adventurousness in her blood when it comes to food. My grandmother would never eat anything Asian, which is really something. She was not into Asian cuisine whatsoever. She came from that World War II era that I think was a little scared of Asians and Asian food, and you know, that coming off of Japan and all of that, you know, she was always like, well, you don't know what kind of meat you're getting. And we'd be like, Grandma, it's the same meat. It's chicken and beef and pork. It's just prepared a little differently. But, you know, you take the good things from your relatives and you try to leave the bad ones or the maybe misinformed ones behind with them, and hope that we all become better in the process. And I'm glad that I left my grandparents' disdain. My grandpa actually liked Chinese food. He would get like the all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet, which that I'm a little like, no thank you with, just because any buffet, no thanks. They just don't have good quality. Although as a kid I really liked the Sizzler buffet. They had the best chicken wings. But it was not good quality. It was just super cheap, and you could be like, we're having steak, and it was like $10. It's ridiculous. Okay, the vegetables are mostly chopped. The only thing that isn't chopped is the ginger, which I grate in so that it stays super fine. So next we're gonna do the egg, which is the first thing we cook. And I cook the egg partially, and then I kind of take it out of the pan so it doesn't overcook, because then you throw it in at the end and it cooks a little bit longer. But if you don't cook the egg first, it will get, and you just kind of drop the egg in there, it will get messy and lost in the dish and probably curdle. And it's just not good. So we take 1 egg, scramble it a bit, and then I take either avocado oil, or right now Graza sent us this oil, It's a high heat olive oil, which is really cool. It's a glorious mix of olive pumice oil, which is olive mush, and our EVOO. And this has a higher smoke point, so you can use it for high heat applications. So I'm gonna bring this over here, put the olive oil in, and I use a good amount of oil to start, and then don't add any oil after. I cook everything in that amount of oil, so that you don't keep having to add more and more. So that, you wait to get hot, and I'm gonna get my spatula, and the water's close to boiling, and we'll do the noodles once that happens. And this will get hot, and it's all like a bunch of prep, and then it all kind of comes together quickly, and then you're like, I'm scrambling. So that's why I try to get all the things chopped and ready so that they can just be thrown together. Even the noodle bag open. Also, I throw in some cilantro in the end of the cooking, and top it with some cilantro, fresh uncooked cilantro as well, because I just love it. So I wash that, and then I wash pieces of it as well, because cilantro can be very dirty. Okay, I think it feels like the oil's getting hot enough here to where the egg can go in. It's starting to kind of smell and bubble. The egg cooks really fast, so don't walk away from it. Here, and I just kind of mix it around. Try to keep it in one spot on the pan so it isn't falling apart yet. Okay, and that's it for the egg. And obviously, like I said, this is pretty undercooked for a normal egg, but it continues to cook once it's thrown in there. If you cook it all the way, it's not going to be good. Next, we do the tofu. And the tofu cooks for a while and gets really brown. The kind of longer you can keep the tofu cooking and browning, the better it is, because then it gets crunchy. And like I said, if you don't use a firm tofu, it'll fall apart. Okay, kind of leave that. And the noodles, the water's boiling. These take about 7 minutes to cook. Sometimes a little longer. I always try them. Give them a stir. Magnifique. They're already starting to get brown. Just kind of move them around. Might even turn the heat up a little bit. Great. Some recipes have you coat the tofu in a cornstarch. And I've done that before, and I just don't really think it does anything. I think it just adds kind of a gumminess to it. The cornstarch can fall apart in the pan, and I'm just like, if an ingredient isn't really necessary, why add it? And actually, while this is browning, I should chop the hot pepper, which I forgot to do.
Hot pepper?
The hot pepper, yes.
What hot pepper?
The Thai chili. This one, small but mighty, just like Samantha. Now, when we first started making this, we used a jalapeno, which is great. Just not quite as authentic to Thai cooking as this pepper here. And I'm going to get rid of the capsaicin and the seeds. A lot of people think the heat from a pepper comes from the seeds. What it actually comes from is that white membrane. And if you remove that, you can remove a lot of the heat. As a matter of fact, if you completely remove it from a pepper, it'll be completely mild. Just like a jalapeno. So I like a little heat, but not overpowering. Okay, flip the tofu. This is where it starts to become faster paced and you need to stay on top of things. Getting really nice and brown. Let it sit here a little longer and cook. Make sure I have everything ready. One thing is when we serve it, put mung beans with it. And if you've ever had pad thai in a restaurant, they usually put that on the side. I put them on the side and then kind of mix it all together when I sit down to eat it. Samantha likes hers on a separate plate to pick at. That's kind of the nice thing about pad thai is the texture of the cooked meat. I mean the cooked things with that raw mung bean taste. Also the raw cilantro in this gives it like a juxtaposition and has more of like a freshness to it. These are getting pretty close. Just want them brown on all sides and crispy. As we know, tofu has really no flavor, so anything you can do to make it stand out in a meal is imperative. And then I'll set the table. Here's our quaint table. I'm going to remove our water bottles and whatever this and our high-end napkins. Okay. A no-knife meal. I love a no-knife meal. Just forks or chopsticks. Does Thai food use chopsticks? I don't think so. Have you ever gotten chopsticks at a Thai restaurant? No, that's not a Thai thing, is it? Okay, and the noodles are about done. Just gonna check one of them because occasionally that was hot. I'm gonna give them about 30 more seconds in there. Sometimes they're still a little hard. These are looking really nice. Okay, I think it's time for the noodles to come out. We have a pasta strainer lid. This is like a pasta pot, and we're gonna dump it out over here. And with these, you rinse them with cool water, not hot water. Set them aside for later, turn the burner off. These are about done, these tofu, so we're gonna take them out of the pan. Actually, this is moist. Like that. Take them out of the pan and set them aside to do the vegetables. You could be my baby, we could make it shine. We could take the river just a minute at a time. Okay. Nice golden tofu. And now we're gonna throw in the bell pepper and the green onion. And not whatever garlic thing got in there. Cook this for a little bit. The heat can come down a little bit. Microplane, another great invention for the kitchen. Good for fresh nutmeg, good for grating garlic or ginger. Keep these moving around. Gonna get the ginger ready to go in. Ginger Rogers. Okay. Oops. Now I'm going to add the garlic and the pepper. You always add garlic later because garlic can burn very quickly. Burnt garlic does not taste very good. And I'm turning the heat way down low so that doesn't happen. And we're going to get the ginger in there now. And it usually all likes to stick on here, and then you just kind of whack it. I think we need a little more ginger. Do another nub of it. Joshua Weissman says that he takes the skin off of ginger with a spoon, which I like, but I feel like it requires more patience than just cutting it off. Whack it in there. Stir this around. We're getting real close here. Now, tofu's going to go back in. The noodles are going to go in. Lovely. The egg. And finally, the sauce. I'm going to turn the heat back up. And let it all cook. And kind of mix the egg in there so that it breaks apart. Otherwise it'll stay in a clump, and we don't want that. We want it distributed all over. Distribute the sauce too. Let this cook for a minute. Heat can even go up higher. Looking beautiful. Make sure every noodle is coated in the sauce. See, there's some white noodle under there. Mix it around. And then I'm going to add that little bit of cilantro. Toss it all around in there, break it apart. Picking herbs off the stem can be a little tedious for some reason. I don't know why. Take the big stems out. Not quite a one-pan meal because you have to cook the noodles in a separate pan, but pretty close. And just like that, it's over. And now, I'll just bring this up here to show you. Vegan pad thai. Don't forget to add the mung beans, and you can hit it with some cilantro on top too when you serve it.